New, live, and local, and every weekday from 8 to 9 a.m. This is the show talking about what you want to know, what you need to know, and part of Wolf Boom Radio's mission to use our voice to build our community. The all-new Delaware County Today, presented by Muncie Community Schools. Now on WMUN, the Talk of Muncie. Here's your host, Director of News Operations and lead morning anchor, Steve Lindell.
And yes, that was me sniffing into a hot mic. I sometimes forget when the red light is on. In just a moment, it's not the same jacket. We'll explain. We'll also have a better weather outlook with the mustached Paul Poteet. That's better. And we'll also have a presidential appearance at the bottom of the hour. It's just Mr. Mearns. No, not just Mr. Mearns. Come on. It's G-off to you. Stand by, Steve Lindell, live from our WMUN Studio B on the south side of Muncie, Indiana, USA, in Delaware County. We're bringing you now to the weather guy. He is, as I mentioned, the mustached Paul Poteet.
Good morning. Yet another wave moves through this morning, so expect some snow showers, but it doesn't look like any accumulation would be significant. And then in the afternoon, some sunshine. Not as cold as yesterday. National Weather Service in Indy said it was the second coldest St. Patrick's Day since records began back in the 1800s. 74 on Sunday, 24 yesterday. Well, today we end up at about 42, and then tonight we stay above freezing, 33, partly to mostly cloudy. System tomorrow brings us morning and midday rain showers with a high of 55. And then it's 68 and partly sunny on Friday. 70 with sunshine on Saturday. 65, light showers on Sunday. Cold front moves through the afternoon and evening, some showers. And then it's back to the 40s Monday and 50s next Tuesday. That's your expanded look at the weather this morning. Now more from Steve.
And how about if we bring in Chase? We had the mustached Paul Poteet. Now we have the bearded wonder. He looks like LeBron James, but he has no basketball skills whatsoever. I'm assuming that, Chase. The basketball skills thing?
That is completely and totally true.
What kind of leaping ability do you have? What's your vertical?
I can jump about as high as a caveman can jump, so...
Well, they're all
4 inches, maybe.
He is all things town of Yorktown. Woo, that's a super close shot. We're in Studio B, and that is a different jacket. We have reviewed the jacket that he is wearing right now between this visit and the previous one. That one was a darker, almost black in color. This one is more of a blue shade. Are we directly okay on that assessment?
That is correct. I walked in, you had the previous video playing, and I said, am I wearing the exact same outfit? And
see, I do the same thing. I do the same thing. I know it's embarrassing because I'm in this thing every day, and I'm thinking I better rotate my shirts properly because somebody's going to catch me on the whole, you wore that yesterday, Steve. That's kind of smelly. What are you doing? All right, we're talking about Yorktown, Indiana. This is Chase Bruton. He's the town manager. He'd be the mayor if state law would allow for that. Chase, any closer to having it a city designation and you actually running for mayor instead?
There is no talk about that right now. I think we're happy to be a town.
All right, I'm sure you are. And now you're looking on the video feed at their website with a lot of clicky things on there to find out, some of which we're going to talk about right now. You just had another meeting this week. There were 3 fairly bigger items that we talked about. What was the Civic Green item first?
Yeah, so we had been talking with our chamber who runs 15 concerts every summer on the Civic Green. And one of the pieces of feedback we kind of kept getting back from all the concert bands was this isn't really designed to be a concert venue. And one of the things was where the little pavilion that they're underneath doesn't actually block any of the sun from hitting them, or any of, if there's a little bit of rain, they have a bunch of equipment under there. So we're adding some wings kind of off the side of it. So we had to talk to the engineers, get all that added in. And then the other thing that we found was that we were using like a stage trailer for a while, and then we were renting a stage as well, like that we had to set up every time. We're going to be building a permanent stage.
Okay. All right. Very good updates there for Yorktown and Civic Green. I still give you ideas from time to time. I know you appreciate this. I suggest you go to one of our sponsors, Victory Honda, and, they have a Civic. Perhaps it could be Victory Honda Civic Green, just an idea. And then the other thing that I just thought of, he laughs.
It's a good idea.
He might be floating this at the next board
meeting.
meeting.
Your logo on the side of the stage. It'll be there forever.
How about me? Can I have a little bit? Because I came up with the idea. I got another idea. We'll get to real stuff in a second. Delaware County Today. You said they're going to put wings on the overhang of Civic Green there. How about if Red Bull sponsors those wings? You see what I'm doing there?
We could have a Red Bull stand out there, I'm
Red
sure.
Bull gives you Civic Green wings. I mean,
that's exactly the sponsor we need at 10 p.m. on a Friday night.
Yeah, these are all free ideas.
Is Red Bull.
And this is how my brain works.
You forgot your line.
Or doesn't.
Not a sponsor, but they should be.
There you go. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Chase Bruton is now going to talk about the banner idea that's going to come to pass in Yorktown. This is really neat.
Yeah, so one of the things that we got approached about was the Legion is wanting to do those hometown hero banners, which is, a family can sponsor a veteran in their family and have their banner hung up. Well, what we found out is we don't have enough arms that hang off of the street lights for us to be able to support all the wonderful veterans we have in Yorktown. And so we went and got a quote, and it was had to take it to council, and council was like, we love our veterans. We think this is a good program, and we think it'll look great through our downtown. So we're going to have, 50 veteran banners hanging up through Yorktown for a good portion of the year. So I'm excited about it.
And is it called Veterans Park, by the way? There's that little area down from that's like a dip as you're walking towards Morrow's Meadow. You know what I'm talking about?
That's controlled by the Legion. That's their park. And then we have a park we call Memorial Park, and it's where the old splash pad was.
Yeah.
It's like a little tiny pavilion and everything. Yeah. I continue to talk to the commander over there at the Legion, Mark Logan, about our old splash pad. It's now just an unused concrete pad. I want a tank. I want an old tank there.
Tank.
Like, you know how they give like the old military surplus, like Apache helicopter,
like a military,
like a military tank,
okay,
like something like a kid can climb around on.
I was thinking about a large water contraption.
No. I have wells over there and stuff as well. But we have an unused concrete pad that is no longer a splash pad that is right next to the Legion.
Well, here's what I got. Another idea. Do you want another idea? I got ideas. I'm coming up with ideas.
Sure.
If you want to buy a tank, you want to get a hold of a tank. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't want to buy it. I want them to give it to us for free.
Facebook Marketplace. That's the thing. So see if somebody's trying to dump a tank.
There is some programs when all this surplus stuff goes out that they'll give you like a piece of artillery, or a tank, or an old helicopter.
I was not aware of that, but I'm not surprised. All right, so contact Chase Bruton. He'll give you his cell phone on the air. This is a different jacket than he's wearing on our Facebook and our video feeds in the YouTube world. Woof Boom Studio B. People sign up and follow that page more and more every day. Please do so. The comprehensive plan for Yorktown has not been updated in a little while. Am I accurate on that?
That is true. We have an outdated comprehensive plan. Our plan commission brought this to my attention and said, hey, we want to get this updated. And once we kind of started talking to them, they said, our zoning ordinance hasn't been updated since 2009, and that was prior to the consolidation with Mount Pleasant Township. And so when we started talking about it, they said, you know what, we should just kill two birds with one stone, get all this done. So last year we did a strategic plan. So this year I get to be in a bunch of committees and stuff and subcommittees talking about the comprehensive plan. So
When does that process begin, and how long might it take? It sounds complicated.
It is going to be complicated. So we just signed the contract on Monday. So I was just talking to the consultant yesterday. So we're going to have kind of a pre-con kickoff to try to get a timeline in place, figure out what committees we need. We always try to include members from the community on that, people from the chamber, people from the planning commission, the schools, those sort of things. So we'll start getting that list together and see who from the community we can sucker into giving us some free labor and help on this.
This is Yorktown, town of. Chase Bruton is our guest in Studio B for WMUN's Delaware County Today. The new utility payment system is about a month or two old, and what do you have reminder-wise on that?
Yeah, so we started this in January. We had 2 different billing cycles, and we had 2 different shut-off cycles. It was just a lot.
Complicated, okay.
Yeah, and so everyone has been switched over to one billing cycle. Every utility bill is due on the 15th of every month. We continue to see delays with mail being delivered. So I just continue to reiterate to people, it's due on the 15th. You can see it online. There's an automatic payment option, or you can come in, or you can call if you have any questions.
Okay, very good.
15th,
that's it. Keep it very simple. Town of Yorktown. Chase Bruton, town manager. New hires. Who do you have in the hopper now?
So we hired an administrative assistant. Her name is Chantel Bright. She started about 2.5 weeks ago. She has a ton of executive assistant experience. What we were realizing is that every time I was in a meeting and Aaron was in a meeting, there was absolutely nobody at the front desk or able to answer the phone. And so we want to be responsive to citizens. We want to be able to get them on the calendar, schedule meetings, all of that. It got to the point where I would be like in a meeting with legal or in a meeting with an engineer, and just a citizen would walk in and start knocking on my window wanting to talk to me. And I'm like, this is not efficient. You can't just walk in and talk to the mayor in Muncie. You have to make a calendar and those sort of things. So we're trying to move into the new day here and be efficient.
Did you mention both names? There was 2 hires.
Oh, yes. Okay, so the other person hasn't started yet. Okay. Kurt Howard will be starting as our building commissioner on March 31st. He will be taking over for Matt Ray, who is a longtime staff member. Matt is reaching his retirement, and we were very excited for him. He has earned it. He's been a great employee. So he'll have about a month to train Kurt up, and then I used to be a project manager as well, so I can help kind of get them trained up and working there.
All right, awesome. All things Yorktown, Indiana with Chase Bruton. Thanks very much for the time. Remind them of your website. It's a good resource, and your Facebook clicks, too.
Yep. YorktownIndiana.org.
Well, that was easy. I got to switch the camera back. I got so many buttons here.
Yeah, and town of Yorktown is the Facebook page. So that's where all the official information comes out of. There's some unofficial pages, not always truthful stuff on
Everybody's got those, so we do too. More coming in a moment. This is Delaware County Today on WMUN.
Hey, it's Jonas Knox. You ever feel like running a business is just nonstop? Every day's game day? That's why going pro with Lenovo Pro just makes sense. You get real one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and gear that's built to help you stay ahead of the competition. So whether you're scaling up, hiring up, or just trying to keep up, go pro. Because when your tech works harder, your business does too. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. So sign up free today at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. If you need a new appliance, this is your sign. Shop at Lowe's now to get up to 35% off and next-day delivery on hundreds of major appliances. A new appliance now means an easier to-do list later. Our best lineup is at Lowe's. Valid through 3/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Order by 4 p.m. Available Monday through Saturday. Subject to availability. Fees, exclusions, and restrictions apply. See Lowes.com/appliance delivery for more details.
Start your day with Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal. The instant oatmeal ready to help you tackle whatever your day brings, like wrangling your toddler into their car seat. That was fun. Coaching your 6th graders soccer team. Go girls! And carrying all the groceries in one trip. Whew. Try Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal, Granola, and Bars. Great taste and a good source of protein. Quaker, bring out the good.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
Checking on my worldwide map, Sister Sherry, Portland, Oregon. Hello, Left Coast. Mama, Minnesota. Roger, to Toronto, Canada. Could that be the backyard astronomer listening? Chicagoland is always on. Los Angeles. All of you want to hear what's going on in Muncie, Delaware County and what people are talking about. How about the lighter side of today? Let's get a snapshot of your day.
It's March 18th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. It's National Sloppy Joe Day. I'm sure we all remember this sandwich from our childhood as a staple from the school cafeteria. The origins of this sandwich are a bit hazy, but it's believed to have been created in Cuba before finding a permanent home at a deli in South Orange, New Jersey, which shared this meal's unique blend of onions, tomato sauce, ground beef, and other spices to the masses, where it was an instant hit. Everyone can put their unique spin on this very basic recipe, so feel free to get creative. And remember, it's called sloppy for a reason, so make sure to have extra napkins on hand. Also on this date, in 2020, the border between the U.S. and Canada was closed in an effort to curb the spread of the coronavirus. President Donald Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau both agreed to shut down all non-essential travel. The border would remain closed until it was reopened in November 2021. I'm Tushar Saxena, and that's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
On WMUN, we are Muncie's news talk, sports talk, community talk. Yesterday, we had the sports flying out of the downtown Muncie location, the Pub House, and Mark Forrester, one of 3 live broadcasts that he'll do the Power Hour at. Good English, Steve. On location as the bracketology is indeed underway. And there was, I guess, one big upset last night in one of those play-in games. Now let's get on to our local news summary. These stories and more airing on all of our stations in East Central Indiana. And now for you on WMUN. Henry County officials searching for over $1 million after the county's insurance premiums skyrocketed.
County Council member Bobby Plummer says the county was already on thin ice after their previous carrier dropped them midterm last year. Now a massive bill is due at the end of the month that the county simply didn't plan for.
Because we didn't budget $1.1 million for premiums.
The council will now allow departments to run negative balances on insurance claims, later backfilling the deficits with appropriations from the county's $11 million general fund. Johnette Cruz, Network Indiana.
Prior to the shows, he told WMUN's Delaware County Today he's really enjoying the job.
I got the job the beginning of last summer.
Okay.
And we've put on a number of performances this year, ranging from, just really small things for a string quartet, say, to full orchestra. Starting to meet the community and enjoy my time here.
That's conductor Yaniv Segal of Orchestra Indiana. They had performances over this past weekend in Muncie. What happened to the Indiana legislation to change the way the lieutenant governor is selected?
It rightly died, and that was good. It was a really bad bill.
Current Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith thinks he knows why some are opposed.
They really do this because they know it's easier for everyday Hoosiers to actually have a voice in the convention.
Hear the entire interview on WMUNmuncie.com. Illuminate the Arts, a documentary directed by Ball State professor and Delaware County historian Chris Fluke, premieres tomorrow during Cornerstone Center for the Arts' 20th anniversary fundraiser. Operation Love Ministries is offering break meal kits to Madison County families as spring break takes place at area schools through March.
Parents really, they don't have extra funding during these break times. In the summer, there's some summer feeding programs.
That's Executive Director Andrea Baker explaining the need on Oldies 101's Anderson Journal Morning Show. Longtime Anderson civil servant Kimberly Townsend has thrown her hat into the ring for Democrat candidate to represent District 36 in the State House of Representatives. She explained her reason for running.
This was the next step for me, especially seeing that a lot of our families are being priced out of having a quality of life.
That from Oldies 101's Anderson Talks. Today's the final day of the Delaware County Farm Festival at the Muncie Fairgrounds. 8:30 in the morning until about 7 o'clock in the evening. School tours during the day, lunch and dinner, and the big pedal pull later today at the fairgrounds. Muncie Arts is celebrating its 15th anniversary, formerly known as Muncie Arts and Culture Council. Star Press says the organization promoted public art, supported local artists since its incorporation in 2011, and has evolved into the city's official arts partner. As Liberty Christian prepares for its third straight boys basketball semi-state appearance, Coach Norman Anderson told Oldies 101's Anderson Journal Morning Show experience is a key factor for the team, even with the newcomer, Monty Dillard, starting at center.
These guys have been together for the last 3 or 4 years, and then just to even bringing in Monte, him coming from Evanston and coming from a winning program and, his entire family, he just fit right in like he's been at Liberty for 12 years.
Madison County Commissioners have approved an ordinance establishing a process for reporting how the county's opioid settlement funds are spent. More local every day on our free wolfboomnews.com. And from Studio B, as we await the arrival of our Zoom room guest, Ball State President Jeffrey Mearns. That is just a couple of moments away. Next item this morning that people are clearly talking about, congressional Republicans are backing President Trump in his efforts to pass the Save America Act.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. Passage of the Save America Act is of paramount importance to President Trump and many congressional Republicans. Some Senate Republicans are advocating that Democrats conduct what they refer to as a talking filibuster and not hold up the legislation from the sidelines. It takes 60 votes to terminate a filibuster. The Senate does that by invoking cloture. A talking filibuster is what most Americans think of when they hear the term filibuster. That's thanks to the iconic scenes with Jimmy Stewart in the Frank Capra classic Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Republicans who advocate for passage of the Save America Act believe they can get around cloture and thus the need for 60 votes by making opponents of the legislation talk and talk and talk. And once they're done talking, the Senate can vote up or down on the Save America Act. Passage requires a simple majority. Senate Rule 19 states that no senator shall speak more than twice upon any one question in debate on the same legislative day. But every motion and every amendment is a question, and senators may speak for an unlimited period of time. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
On WMUN's Delaware County Today from Studio B on the campus of Wolf Boom Radio. Another item people are talking about, of course, includes AI. Artificial intelligence might not be able, though, to replace your doctor anytime soon.
Fox on Tech. The world might not be ready yet for AI doctors. Your own physician has likely warned you about reading too much about your symptoms from websites or discussion forums and convincing yourself of a diagnosis. And there's some truth to that. Only trained and licensed healthcare pros should be giving you their opinions after actually examining you. But there's still emerging artificial intelligence tech for the healthcare field aimed at helping both patients and doctors. A tool Google had been working on, however, may not have been as helpful. Google quietly scrapped an AI feature called What People Suggest. It, among other things, summarized healthcare tips from around the world. But a report from The Guardian suggested it was giving out bad medicine to users, and that could be risky. Google says the feature's removal had nothing to do with safety matters, but was part of a simplification of its search page. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
On WMUN, News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk, and Cardinal Talk. I'm going to get him riled up in his birdcage next. President Mearns will be speaking about several topics, but not the least of which is how badly do we feel that Ball State's women's basketball team got ripped off in postseason play? Hold on, that and more next on WMUN.
Save big money now at Menards. Stand up to life's messes with Great Lakes Vinyl Plank Flooring. Its beautiful wood designs are durable and easy to install. Plus, it's pet-friendly, waterproof, and has a sound-reducing attached pad for added comfort. Don't wait to finish your projects. Update your spaces with Great Lakes Legends Vinyl Plank Flooring. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
This Week in Delaware County, a weekly show on WMUN that's part of our promise to use our voice to build and connect our community. Listen Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. to catch up on local news, community info, and talk about issues and ideas that you need to know on 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, and on Alexa, say play WMUN.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
Starting on Cam 4, bringing in our Zoom room. Now he is the president of Ball State University. His name is Jeffrey Mearns, and I'm starting first and foremost with the anger issue. How angry are you about your women's basketball squad not being invited to a postseason play somehow, some way, President Mearns?
Well, so it's pretty cold outside right now. It's about 22 degrees, but I'm pretty hot on that issue. That I don't understand it. Jeff Mitchell and I are awaiting an explanation from the committee, but I don't understand it. I may not have all of my facts exactly right, but what were we? 25-6, 25-7, co-MAC champion. My understanding is there may be half a dozen teams that got invited that had a lower net ranking or rating. You know, that's supposed to be the computer system they rely on. It's my understanding that there might be a couple teams in that tournament who have losing records on the season. You know, I don't get it. I want to see the explanation, but very disappointed. Now, having said all that, we had a great season. We exceeded the expectations that most people had. Not that some of us knew the quality of the players that Coach had recruited and the quality of the capacity for Coach Salee and his coaches to bring teams along, develop teams. So it was a great season. I was out in Cleveland last Friday when we came up just a little short in the MAC tournament semifinals. A couple of players were just missing some shots. It seemed like there was like a lid on the basket at times for most of our players except one. Bree Salenbine, 34 points in her final collegiate game. What a remarkable player and an even better young woman. We are so fortunate that Bree decided to spend her last year as a college athlete on our campus with our team.
And Brady Coach Salee was kind enough to share the story of Bree with us on one of his visits here in Studio B. It's a great story, too. Next item with Ball State President Jeffrey Mearns, the Board of Trustees has now approved, quote, scope, budget, site plan for Village Green Community Space. Tell us what's happening there.
Yeah, so that's the location. It's on the southwest corner of University Avenue and Martin Street. There's a former First Merchants Bank branch, small bank branch there. We're going to turn that into a Village Green, and those two words are important. We need to continue to do more to brand that commercial district as the Village. And the word green connotes what we plan to do there. We're going to demolish the building. There'll be lots of green space. There'll be areas to put food trucks. There'll be furniture. There'll be a fire pit. And this is exciting, Steve. There'll be opportunities to have outdoor games like cornhole.
Oh, hello.
We may be able to have, not just before Ball State football games, you and I may be able to have a cornhole competition. Perhaps, this construction will be concluded sometime fall of 2027, not summer, but next summer. Perhaps at the grand opening of New Village Green, that's going to attract people from all over East Central Indiana to come to that commercial district. You and I, mano a mano in cornhole on that special occasion.
Lock it in. I'm just saying right now, lock it in. In concept, it's locked in. Now, dates and times, obviously notwithstanding, we've got to get construction done and everything. That sounds very exciting. Yes, sir.
Think about the revenue potential. I mean, might be standing room only for that sports spectacle.
No, I don't think so. I think you're overstating it there. This is Ball State President Jeffrey Mearns and the wishful thinking about cornhole crowds. We're on Delaware County today from Studio B on the campus of Wolf Boom Radio. Are you ever going to visit us in studio via Zoom? Is nice, but would you come here and you see our new digs?
Well, my great assistant Stephanie Arrington told me that you wanted me sometime maybe in April or May. Top down. So we will make that happen.
All right, very good. This is President Jeffrey Mearns on WMUN's Delaware County Today. We've once again extended our broadcast arrangement between the radio group and the Ball State University. It is on to baseball. What do you think about that whole plan?
Yeah, well, so, we've got a great baseball program. Coach Maloney has done a wonderful job, again, every year bringing in talent, developing talent. And we're delighted and grateful to your colleagues at WMUN for broadcasting our baseball games at Shebeck Stadium. And want to do another shout out to Mike and Katie Shebeck for their generous support to allow us to build a new clubhouse and locker room for our outstanding baseball team.
For our listeners on radio and video, you got a little bit of audio breakup. I don't know that there's anything that you can do about it on your end, President Mearns. We can hear you okay, but there are some dropouts just briefly. For the third straight year, there is a champion speller at Burris. My question to you, Leo Furlong is the dude's name. Were you a good speller back in the day, President Mearns?
I don't have a recollection. I was a little challenged with spelling because, as you know, my first name is spelled a little differently.
Yeah.
So phonetics didn't always work for me because a lot of people called me Geoffrey.
I did earlier this morning, as a matter of fact, on purpose, though. I was just playing. This is Ball State President Geoffrey Mearns. If you had the attention of every state legislator for just 30 seconds, what would you ask them to prioritize for higher education at Ball State and as it relates to the students at the Cardinals?
So I would ask them to restore the reduction in the operating appropriation that came out of the last biennial budget. As you recall, Steve, there was a dismal revenue forecast in April last year, April 2025. The revenue forecast has been much improved, and the revenue is even exceeding that more favorable revenue forecast. So I hope when we have the budget session next year that they'll restore the operating appropriation for our university. That's $14 million more each year to enable us to invest in students and the outstanding faculty and staff who educate them and inspire them.
On WMUN's Delaware County Today, this is Ball State President Jeffrey Mearns, our guest in our Zoom room today. The change in leadership at the men's basketball team. Speak of that, Michael Lewis, and maybe what's next.
Well, so first of all, grateful to Coach Lewis and his family, and we wish him all the best. Jeff Mitchell is being very proactive and very aggressive, using a search firm to cast a wide net to bring in outstanding candidates. My understanding is that search is progressing well. There's a lot of interest in that job because I know there's a strong history with this program. And so all of you who are listening who would like us to get back to those days, we need your support. Come out and watch our Ball State Cardinals in all of our sports, including men's basketball. And if you're able to, provide some philanthropic support so that we can invest in those outstanding young athletes.
Ball State's role in overseeing the Muncie Community Schools is obviously unique. What lessons, President Mearns, might state leaders take from that model that was developed right here?
Well, I would probably boil it down to two principal lessons that maybe can be applied in other districts, because we never suggested that the specific arrangement between Ball State and MCS should be replicated in other places. But there are two elements that can be translated to any district. One is I believe in order to create and sustain an outstanding educational experience for the students, you need community partnership. And we've been so fortunate that in the wake of the relationship that we have with MCS, we've got local philanthropy from the Ball Brothers Foundation, George and Frances Ball Foundation, the Community Foundation. It's enabled us then to partner with local nonprofits, the YMCA, the YWCA, the Boys and Girls Club, I could go on, as well as local merchants have stepped up to support the partnership. So the first lesson is mobilize a community to support. We've heard this notion that it takes a village to educate a child. Well, I would just need the community to support local community schools. The second thing I would say, you have elected board members or appointed board members. You need people who really don't bring any particular ideological or perspective. They're all committed to using their expertise to support the schools, the fundamental mission. And we're so fortunate that we have 7 outstanding board members who bring their passion, their different experiences and perspectives, but their common commitment to community schools and those.
I'm just going to go with one more item here again because of the audio chunkiness we're having here. I apologize to our listeners for that. Coming up is a no foolin' type of a situation. I believe in the background over my shoulder on camera in the Zoom room, I have the One Ball State Day logo up, and we're counting down to that.
Yeah, so we're excited. That's our annual day of giving, and I'm grateful to our partners in the foundation who put on not only an exciting day, but an enjoyable day. It's a day where we put the fun back in fundraising because we raise over $1 million every year, but we have a variety of activities on campus and online, and so it will be another fun day. And given that it's on April 1st, I think you can be prepared. There will be some extra fun and fooling this year.
Didn't you change or pretend to change the Charlie Cardinal logo animal or something last time this fell on
one of those Canadian geese? But yeah. There'll be some more fun. I'm not sure it'll be quite up that same alley, but you'll have some fun, Steve. Hope you'll join us on campus.
Of course I will. Thank you very much, President Mearns. Always a pleasure. Thank you for the time, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You as well, Steve. Stay warm.
All right. That is Ball State President Jeffrey Mearns inside Studio B and the Zoom room capability, which will be busy in a moment with another guest coming. He is the voice of the Cardinals, Mick Tidrow. Next segment coming up on WMUN.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Gary Dick. The Indiana Donor Network says it is the first organ recovery organization in the country to use new technology to help save lives. In January, a man's donated lungs were recovered for potential transplant, but rejected by several regional transplant centers. The donor network partnered with Sweden and Wisconsin-based companies on a perfusion machine that gives oxygen and nutrients to the lungs to basically rescue them for transplantation. Indiana Donor Network Organ Service Director Sherry Quire.
Without doing this, we would have had, lungs that would not have been accepted. Lungs being accepted is truly directly saving someone's life.
IT Logistics LLC plans to permanently close its Plainfield warehouse at the end of May, eliminating 65 jobs. The logistics company is part of the New York-based supply chain management company Walker SCM and has been doing business in Plainfield since 2009. You're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Indiana University is shaping the future of healthcare with Hoosiers in mind. Advancing discoveries that become treatments for Alzheimer's, obesity, cancer, and rare diseases, and training the providers trusted to deliver them. From the lab to your local clinic, IU powers medical breakthroughs and the talent behind them. Discover how IU is solving what's next at iu.edu/impact.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from Northwest Indiana, Jeffersonville, Muncie, South Bend, in downtown Evansville. Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, Richmond, from one of the state's key entrepreneurial and innovation hubs, 16 Tech. Inside Indiana Business, Indiana's business news leader.
My name is Aisha Allen, the principal at Northview Elementary, home of the Rockets. All students receive exceptional instruction not only in core areas like reading, writing, and math, but also in music, art, and physical education. We also offer Project Lead the Way STEM education. Our third graders had a near 90% passing rate on the iRead 3 assessment. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.
Muncie Community Schools, placing learners first.
Every hour of every day, Fox News Radio is there with the latest breaking news and information you rely on.
This is a Fox News Alert.
I'm Lisa Brady.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
With Fox News correspondents around the globe.
At the White House, Simon Owen in London.
On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The news that matters most to you. The top headlines, all in one place. America is listening to Fox News Radio.
Updates hourly on the Talk of Muncie, the new WMUN. Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community School.
8:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Adjust for your zone if you're listening worldwide. Minutes and moments, maybe seconds away from being joined in our Zoom room by Mr. Mick Tidrow. He is the VOC, and he apparently is in transit right now. He will do just about anything from anywhere in order to talk up the Cardinals. Am I right or am I wrong, Mr. Tidrow?
No, I appreciate you, Steve, for having me as always, but I pulled off on the side of the road just for you to join the show. No, it's always a good day to talk Cardinals. But yeah, we're having some fun.
I was going to say, you pulled off the road safely, very nice. I've had other Zoom guests in their vehicle that have drivers. You don't have the driver in your contract with the Ball State Cardinals? Nothing happening?
I do not have a driver. That's all me. That's all me.
I just had President Mearns on a moment ago, right before you in the Zoom room. So next time I have him on, I'll put that in my letters of items to bring up to maybe work out for you. Mick Tidrow does such an incredible job on so many things, not only on the radio here on WMUN, but behind the scenes and on the socials. You're seemingly always working and doing something, and there's a lot to talk about. I'm going to let you pick the first topic this morning, Mr. T.
Well, from a pertinent standpoint, Ball State baseball plays Butler today, and there was snow on the ground yesterday at the Ball Diamond. It's since been melting, so we've got baseball coming up there, which is a good thing. But you're right, there's a lot with men's basketball search, waiting for the football schedules from the Mid-American Conference, and baseball, softball in play, track and field's got competition. Man, you can't go a day without having some events in a good way, and there's a lot happening.
Hey, let me talk about softball for a second. You had a good get for a color commentator. It was last week, maybe. How fun was that? And tell us the backstory on how that came to pass, because I think it's neat.
Yeah, so there's once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that you get somebody that's Jenny Gilbert status that's coming up from Texas to watch Ball State softball play her former coach in Craig Nicholson for the Akron Zips. So she was going to be in town anyway. We had a need for an analyst on the television side because of some last-minute adjustments, and I had heard through Joe Hernandez, a former Ball Stater, that Jenny was going to be in town. And so I immediately pick up the phone and call Jenny, and I'm like, hey, Jenny, are you going to be in town? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, how would you like to make your TV debut? And she said, oh, I'd be honored. That sounds awesome. And what do you need from me? And I got her all the details and everything. But it was really cool and special for her to be in the booth for her former coach's second appearance back in Muncie as the Akron head coach, and then obviously for her alma mater. So she was very grateful. I'm very grateful she was able to do it, because those are hard moments to come by, and you never you never know when they're going to come together, but that was a fun weekend series.
This is WMUN's Delaware County Today. Steve Lindell in Studio B. Via the Zoom room, it's Mick Tidrow, the voice of the Cardinals. I'm seeing good talk, and you and also Athletic Director Mitchell told us right as the announcements were made about the recruiting class for football, but I'm seeing even more data that looks very positive and uptick-wise for the Ball State football team. Can you confirm?
Yeah, Steve. So when you look at the recruiting landscape for now that it used to be, but this is Ball State's highest ranked recruiting class ever in football, which for Coach U coming into his second year, we knew he was a good recruiter. We knew that he was going to be all over the place all the time with his staff. And to bring in the second best transfer class in the Mid-American Conference this year, I think speaks volumes to what people believe that he built in the first year with players that were coming back, and he had some transfers that came in, of course, but now that he's building the roster that he wants and his staff wants, really for the first time, you're seeing what kind of a recruiter he is and why he had success at places like Butler and previous stops, because he can recruit very well and he knows how to build a foundational first year and then launch off of that. So that's what we're seeing. And this second best transfer class in the MAC this year and highest recruiting class ever for Ball State football, I think just goes to show that what he talked about in his opening press conference and all the stuff that we heard about him leading into the job is true. Like, this guy is going to recruit his tail off, and his assistant coaches are doing the same thing. So I'm excited to see it all come together. Lots of new faces, but we'll learn all the new faces and talk to the old faces as well as we go, as spring ball's about to start up. So be on the lookout for some social content, and we'll try and get to know some new players.
All right, final minute we have this morning with Mick Tidrow on WMUN's Delaware County Today. Preview tomorrow's weekly program, 9 to 9:30. Mr. Tidrow, who do you got?
You know my answer, Steve. Still finalizing some things. I got to wait to see if we can get our director of athletics, Jeff Mitchell, on and talk about the pertinent stuff, because he's all over the place. As we all know, there's a big thing to be hired, a big position to be hired. So we'll see. And no, I don't have any clues, Steve. Before you ask, I'm not sure who it's going to be.
I was going to ask. I was going to.
I can see the wheels turning.
Yeah, I know.
I also don't know when the football schedule's coming out yet, so we're still waiting on that.
All right, and final item. Let me talk about the Ball State women's basketball team. I just had President Mearns talk about it, and I know you have to couch your personal comments carefully. What I'd like you to say to our listeners is, how surprised were you that there was no after regular season invite for the Ball State women's basketball team?
Yeah, I was watching the WBIT show live, and I was shocked that they were not chosen within there. And I think they deserve to be, especially with the 68 net ranking. And Brady Sally kind of laid it all out there in a post on social media a couple of days ago. But yeah, I think that it's sad that the season comes to an end, just because this group is so talented and so much fun to watch. So it's heartbreaking from that standpoint, as somebody who loves the team and the game of women's basketball, to not see the Cardinals continue to play, especially in the BIT, which they've hosted before in a first round. So it would have been cool to see them continue to play.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Tidrow. You enjoy the rest of your drive. Get back on the road safely, okay?
I appreciate you, Steve. Thanks for having me. Go Cardinals.
All right, go Cardinals. The signature sign-off for our friend Mick Tidrow. 9 to 9:30 Thursday mornings is when This Week in Ball State Athletics lands live with Mr. Tidrow. Let me see here. Checking my clock. Yeah, I think we're up to about that time. A little less brutal cold this morning. I'm trying to be very positive about that. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday looks very nice around here. Now, from the 2024 archives, a delivery worker saves a woman from death.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A UPS driver's heroic act that saved a woman in Valdosta, Georgia, makes today's Dean's List. Raheem Cooper was on his usual route making deliveries when he noticed a woman lying down on her driveway with groceries she had clearly dropped in 100-degree heat. Raheem stopped the truck, rang the doorbell to see if anyone else was home, and when no one answered, he called for help. While waiting for the ambulance, Raheem did everything he could to help the woman who had fallen. A few minutes later, paramedics were on the scene and rushed the woman to the hospital. He left his number with their family, and she's on the road to recovery. Raheem says he just thanks God for putting him in the right place at the right time and to be able to lend a hand.
What if that was my family member or my kids, or including me, how the son is? So I just feel like if you see somebody that need help, just do the best you can and help them by God's grace.
Thank you, Raheem Cooper, for being such a great human. Janice Dean, Fox News.
There's a lot of great people in the world, whether it's a 2024 archived report or today. They're all in our midst, and maybe you and I could be a good guy, good gal, good person today to somebody. Let's try and do that, why don't we? From Studio B at Wolf Boom Radio, this has been Delaware County Today, a daily program from 8 to 9 a.m., talking about what people are talking about. Reach out with an email anytime, WMUN at wolfboom.com, or the phone number to leave a message, 289-NEWS. You might be on the radio. For Aiden Foster, producer in the Axia Command Center, Steve Lindell, this is WMUN.
Hey, it's Jonas Knox. Is finding qualified workers chaotic and overwhelming? Express Employment Professionals streamlines your hiring, saving you time and money. So get started at expresspros.com.